this video, we'll contrast the traditional and modern methods that are possible solutions to the challenges in the education sector. For example, look at Guyana learning channel versus blended learning. And we use the Venn diagram to compare and contrast the Guyana learning channel with blended learning. Blended learning is a mixture of the traditional and modern, where students use their computers to reinforce what is taught in the classroom. The teacher spends more time in the classroom focusing on specific issues, giving homework where the students do it on their computer at home. But more of that in a subsequent video. So here we have a symbol of the traditional classroom, the blackboard, where students have to listen to the teacher in school. The teacher is the authority figure, knows everything, and writes on the blackboard and talks to the students, explaining the concepts and so on. You're all familiar with the traditional classroom chalk and talk method. Now, one of the characteristics of the traditional classroom situation is it's a fixed time schedule. You have to be at school at a certain time, spend certain hours, and so on. It's fixed. You can't change that. You also go to a specific school. You don't go to one school today and the next school tomorrow. You go to the school that's nearest you. So you're tethered to a fixed location. If you're living far from a school, well, that's your problem. More challenges. If the school is next door to you, well, it's sort of ideal, isn't it? The content is fixed and limited content. Given the time, for example, in mathematics, if you have 4 hours per week, it's fixed and limited. Old school methodology, chalk and talk, tell and test, those are the methods that are currently being used, and which are no longer working, which worked in the past for us, but are no longer working for the younger generations. It's ineffective based on the results that it produces today, based on hard scientific evidence, the scores, the percentages, the passes. Old school methodology is no longer working, and it's teacher-centric. When I went to school, primary school, secondary school, the teacher knew everything. If I wanted to know how to do multiplication decimals, I had to go to the teacher. Now the modern day student can easily go and Google it and find out how to do that type of calculation. In today's world, the teacher is a facilitator of understanding, not a fountain of knowledge. It uses the method of rote learning. You watch it on the learning channel and you see students sitting in a classroom, sitting in a box, listening to the teacher talk and explain the concepts. Now, this is not a criticism of the learning channel. It merely identifies the characteristics of the Guyana learning channel and the traditional classroom methodology. When you watch the program on TV, you see students sitting passively in a classroom listening to the teacher talking and explaining the concepts. I'm not criticizing the teacher, I'm criticizing the methodology that's being used. Rote learning, the passive absorption of information. That's what is happening. The passive absorption of information in the thing. It's time bound. If you're not at home at a certain time when the program is on TV, you miss that. So those are some of the shortcomings. Uses the same traditional method of teaching in the class. With blended learning, however, here you see I'm using a Venn diagram. Those of you who are familiar with the Venn diagram will better understand this thing, where you compare and contrast. The topics they both have in common, they cover the same topics, but with blended learning you cover a wider range. The difference is contrast. With blended learning, flexible time schedule. You learn at your own pace, anytime, anywhere. You learn anywhere. Compared to contrast it with a fixed location, school. Freedom to choose content, not so in a traditional classroom. You have all the topics on your laptop or desktop. You just choose which topic you want to review, revise, or reinforce. It uses modern teaching methodologies, visual models, and audio narration, such as the very video that you're looking at. You have complete control over this video. You can pause it, you can replay it any number of times. It's student-centric. You control the interaction rather than teacher-centric. It's a full sensory learning experience. You hear the voice of the narrator, you see colorful, engaging images on your screen, you see dynamic interactions on your screen, you interact with your software, you point, click, enter text, and so on. You actively engage in the learning process. Compare that with the classroom session or the kind of learning channel. You just merely sit and watch the TV. Here you have control over the process. You actively engage in the process. That boosts retention. You have interactive videos such as this one, and interactive quizzes that you will see later in the demonstrations of this software. So you can compare the benefits, compare and contrast the two. Instant score and feedback. How often do you have tests in school? And take weeks before you get feedback. With flexible, blended learning, you can track your progress and so on. Now you be the best judge. What do you think? You enjoy at home convenience. Anywhere in the country, in the remote regions of Guyana, blended learning is ideal. All they need is, for example, let's say a teacher gets $60,000 per month, which I think is not true. This is far above what teachers get. So for 12 months you pay a teacher $720,000. Traditional classroom method, talk and talk, chalk and talk. With blended learning now, you invest in a flat TV, a computer, click on our software, and it works. So you have it anytime, anywhere.